Always with thinks at the future, all federal and kingdom prisons are owned with the aid of using personal companies. Those businesses additionally personal the lives of the prisoners and use them as enjoyment. Many unwell video games on the fee of human existence are performed for human beings as leisure. At the start of the movie, new inmates are being admitted right into a federal jail in China. All of us is coded up and requested approximately their names and crimes. A number of the criminals is 20-year vintage Ricky, who has been sentenced to 10 years in jail for attack and manslaughter. Ricky isn't like the same old submissive inmates. He would not hassle to concentrate to the guards and is what he desires to. They already do now no longer like him, so with thinks at the metallic detector jewelry due to Ricky. They take it as an impossibility to expose their dominance. He has taken to the X-ray machine, which suggests that he has bullets internal his frame. The guards inquire why he did not allow the decks take them out, to which he says that they're souvenirs from the person. Held. No person dares to speak lowered back after the remark, and Ricky is led internal with the opposite inmates. The region is separated into 4 parts. Named after 4 guidelines, every component is dominated with the aid of using a special chief. The leaders actually have the authority to terminate human beings as probation, and paintings intently with a jail warden. One morning, a bully named Samuel is with thinks at the laboratory. He snatches a towel out of an aged inmate named Omar, which finally reasons a controversy. Samuel and his minions bully the negative guy and destroy his nose. A defendant involves calm the situation. However, upon on account that Samuel is the perpetrator, he actually walks away. Reggie watches the incident spread from the door and sticks his foot out, inflicting Samuel to fall in a spiky piece of wood, and Samuel's face is impaled at the spikes. However, he survives. The minions attempt to intimidate Ricky. However, on account that he isn't fearful of them, they motel to looking after their grasp as a substitute. Sometime later, Samuel's accidents are bandaged. However, his will to take revenge does now no longer die. He is aware that he cannot beat Rocky on his personal, so he hires the excellent murderer with thinks at the jail, the Mad Dragon. He's a morbidly overweight maniac who has killed over 50 inmates. Presently, Mad Dragon is in solitary confinement, so Samuel pulls a few strings to get him out at night time. Mr. Omar's useless frame is discovered striking from the hallway ceiling. It's Miles discovered that Samuel terminated his probation and made it so he must stay in jail all the time. The negative guy turned into arrested for hitting a person, together along with his car. The person who turned into injured turned into a police officer. That's why Omar was given the longest prison sentence feasible, 4 years. He waited to fulfill his own circle of relatives once more, and whilst he turned into instructed, he could in no way get to peer them. He dedicated the unthinkable. The subsequent morning, Mad Dragon is let loose of confinement. He methods Ricky with thinks at the laboratory and slams him into the wall. Ricky punches him as soon as engulfs him with naked palms. The large falls to the ground as his intestines slide out of his frame. Similarly, whilst Samuel attempts to intervene, Ricky kills him with the aid of using punching a hollow in his belly. The complete region is protected in blood. However, the guards are calm as normal. Earlier than they create Ricky away, the chief of the West Wing named Excessive methods him excessive invitations Ricky to his gang. Considering that he has admirable combating capabilities, Ricky would not care approximately the awful gang system. However, refrains from refusing the order out loud. Then we're proven a flashback of the time Reggie turned into nevertheless in college. He turned into dwelling in an orphanage. Considering that his dad and mom died whilst he turned into in primary college one afternoon, he is going to go to their graves and springs throughout his uncle. The person is a grasp of kung fu with widespread understanding of all styles of combating strategies. He sees actual expertise in Ricky and gives to be his grasp. Beginning the day they teach each day with Ansett, the graveyard, Ricky even drops out of college to awareness of the schooling. Each consultation his limits are examined, and whilst he manages to interrupt a stone together along with his test. The schooling is whole lowered back with thanks to the gift Ricky has taken to the assistant warden at the jail named Huck. The person has a hood for his proper hand and a prosthetic eye. After being instructed what Ricky did to the opposite inmate's, Hook glows crimson in anger. He stabs Ricky's hand to the desk, asking him to show how he were given so effective. Whilst he would not speak, Hood brings out an image of Ricky's lady friend and insults her. An angered Ricky breaks the desk together along with his injured hand and threatens Hood to thoughts his personal commercial enterprise. Earlier than strolling away 12 months ago, Ricky turned into the happiest he has ever been. And the most effective motive turned into his lady friend Fairy. They have been deeply in love and trying to get married after she graduates. However, then got here a dreadful nighttime that modified the whole thing. At the same time as returning home, Fifa got here throughout a gangster promoting opium to school kids to apply his drugs. She is stepped spying on them and taken to the chief of the group, a misplaced over her splendor, and attempts to pressure himself on her. However, Fifa manages. However, at the same time as seeking to run away, she falls off the constructing and dies. It creates a massive dent in Ricky's existence and makes him hungry for revenge. For this reason he reveals the group chief one night time without his minions. The person shoots Ricky numerous instances and would not pass over an unmarried shot. However, Ricky would not sense the ache of gunshots over the ache of dropping 50. He punches the person within at the cranium and ends his existence in an unmarried blow. He's later sentenced to jail. However, would not remorse his movements in any respect the following day. All of the inmates of the West Wing assault Samuel's minion now that he would not have all and sundry to defend him. They may be stopped with the aid of using the West Wing chief excessive, who desires to assert his dominance. Considering that all of us is praising Ricky, he hits a person named Kang and chains him to a pole in the front of the complete jail. Then he asks all of us if they may be inclined to steward Kang and pass in opposition to him. The inmates need to assist their friend. However, are scared of being the chief excessive, thinks that he has made his factor till Ricky comes ahead to oppose him. They get right into a combat that will become a bloody fit quite quickly. Excessive performs unfair and makes use of a powder to blind Ricky. He additionally cuts a vein in Ricky's arm and paralyzes it. However, Ricky quickly overcomes the barriers with the aid of cleansing his eyes with water and tying his vein right into a knot. After that, he smacks Excessive at the lower back of his head, which makes his eye fall out. Excessive sees that he is ready to lose, so he makes a reduce in his stomach and brings out his intestines. He desires to use them to strangle Ricky. However, the plan fails with things at the stop. Excessive dies and Ricky celebrates his victory with the aid of bringing Kang down abruptly. The leaders of the opposite three wings arrive with things at the field. They defend the assistant warden, however do now no longer assault Ricky simply. But the following day, Ricky sees a person named So sitting on my own out of doors. He sits beside the man and reveals out that his tongue turned into reduce off with the aid of one of the leaders. He cannot talk, so Ricky offers him his flute. So inflict good-looking opium leaves on investigating in which they got here from. Ricky discovers that South Wing Chief and Hook are secretly developing opium with things at the south wing of the jail. That's brought to high school college students. Considering that Fairy's demise turned into additionally associated with opium, Ricky makes it his undertaking to stop the farm. Later the group leaders get a touch of So friendship with Ricky to train him a lesson. They poison skin into demise and throw his corpse out of doors for all of us to peer. Ricky is devastated with the aid of the negative guy's demise. At night time he is going to the South Wing and units Heart Place to the complete opium farm. The Heart Place grows, burning all the inventory. The South Chief assaults him and enter into combat. Begins a fit involved among the two smashes over parry until the opposite leaders arrive and assault him. All of a sudden the South Chief is the mind of the institution. The North Chief focuses on string artwork and might slice human beings in one half of with a roll of thread. Meanwhile, the East Chief is the maximum effective one in every of all of them. The use of their blended combating capabilities they control to seize Ricky and lock him in the room. The East Chief unknowingly enters the room to combat him one-on-one. He regrets the selection whilst the room begins a fit involved filling up with most cement. It turned into Hook's plan to kill Ricky. However, he manages to store each who's in the Chief's existence, that he demanding situations Hook to be a person in combat one-on-one. However, quickly the cement in his frame hardens and restricts his motion as a result. Ricky is another time captured. The following day the warden at the jail returns from his ride to Hawaii. He has added his spoiled son Wong with him due to his weight-long journeys at the carpet. As a result, the man who rolled the carpet out is killed. The warden treats the inmates as mere bugs to be stomped on and most effective cares approximately his son upon locating out approximately the destroyed opium farm. His blood boils and Amber Hook brings him to a mobile in which Ricky is tied as much as the ceiling. He's nevertheless protected in concrete. However, upon seeing him, he flexes the dust off of his frame. Then he assaults the warden, promising to punish him for trading. He's quickly stopped with the aid of the East Chief, who locks Ricky's palms and proceeds to conquer him up for the warden and his son's enjoyment. Amidst the torture a person mentions Fairy's name, which brings Ricky lowered back to his everyday self. He frees his palms and uppercuts into East's throat, killing him in an instant. A sense like I were given up or reduce it with things at the throat too earlier than Ricky can rejoice. The ceiling fabricated from metallic begins a fit involved shifting down. He prevents it from crushing him and escapes. A whole lot to all of us is wonder with things at the following scene. He's saved internal a hollow with things at the floor and the prisoners are requested to bury him. They reluctantly do as instructed, scared for his or her life. Smash is most effective, given bamboo to assist him breathe. He remains there for over every week, considering fit for each minute. Then at the 8th day the warden orders to deliver his useless frame out, so all of us receives to peer what occurs to folks that pass in opposition to the policies of the jail. Ricky has pulled out, however to all of us is wonder, he's flawlessly first class and might even do acrobatics. All of us is inspired with the aid of using a skill, which makes the South Chief live in a long hatred. He is likewise jealous of Ricky's mastery. Whilst all of us is distracted, he knocks Ricky out in a single pass and captures him. After that, Ricky is held in a demise entice in order to kill him if he attempts to transport. The warden is inspired with the aid of using Ricky's tolerance. He asks him to enroll in the group. However, Ricky in flip insults him. It is observed with the aid of using a brutal torture inflicted on him with the aid of using the South Chief. He places blades into Ricky's mouth and punches him time and again. Whilst he in the end stops, Ricky spits the blades into the warden's face, refusing to surrender. At night time, one and every of Ricky's supporters brings him meals with a message that asks him now no longer to surrender. But however, the assistant warden receives trace of this and kills the man with a hook in his throat. He then is going to Ricky's room to expose him. The aftermath of the demise, however, is in flip attacked. Hook's supporter is punched with into the cranium, which breaks in. Due to the effect after that, Hook's most effective eye is stabbed and his hand is reduced off. All of the prisoners rebel in opposition to the warden and combat the guards whilst they are trying to intervene someplace else. The warden and his son are with things at the kitchen area. The warden hears an inmate complaining approximately the meals his son eats. To train the person lesson, he places his hand in the meat grinder, creating a bloody mess with things at the procedure. All of a sudden, Ricky enters the room and takes a stand in opposition to him. They may be joined with the aid of using South and North leaders who assault Ricky. Some other combat ensues among the three. However, this time, Ricky manages to overpower each of them. The South Chief is killed in spite of everything. Of his limbs are torn off. The only different runs away and worry ended closing. Most effective, Ricky and the warden are left alive. It appears to be a one-man combat. Earlier than the warden in some way will become an unpleasant lodge and assaults Ricky. The combat is going on for a while. Earlier than Ricky pushes him into the beef grinder till most effective his head is left unshredded. Following the demise, Ricky walks out of doors with a pinnacle to announce his victory. With things at the closing scene, he breaks the jail wall and all of the prisoners escape. All of us suggests a few love with things at the remarks for the editors nowadays for all that loopy violence they needed to reduce around. Subscribe for extra movies like this, switch on notifications and depart. I want to assist the channel out. Thanks for watching.